Welcome back to Packet Loss. I'm starting a series focused solely around firewall cleanup tasks. This will run in tandem with my current Palo Alto series, but this will hopefully serve as beneficial to those trying to clean up messes on their own firewalls. This first video is going to focus on the most common topic, which is security policies, specifically migrating service-based to app ID-based policies. We've all been guilty at one time or another of either building or discovering less than ideal policies within our rule base, so let's talk about the ways we can mitigate those. Before we start any cleanup tasks, we need to identify our problematic policies. To do this, navigate under Security Policies to the Policy Optimizer, and then Policies or Rules without App Controls. This provides us a list of all current policies with no current app ID being used. In our case, I'm going to be targeting Internet Outgoing. So this policy right here, this policy has the Trust L3 zone, which is our LAN traffic, and we want to remove that LAN piece of that policy and create a new policy based around app ID controls. The first method I want to cover is the Rule Usage tab. We're going to be opening up our policy in question, so in this case, Internet Outgoing. We're going to be going to the Usage tab, and under Applications, compare applications and application scene. Often overlooked, this is an incredibly useful tab. What this will do is match any known applications to your policy from the usage standpoint and show you what app IDs are being utilized, whether your policy is using app ID or it's not using app ID. From here, what we want to do is select all and just to review the features we have available to us. If we were to match usage, this would take all existing app IDs and put them into the existing policy. If we create a cloned rule, we can choose to create a cloned rule based on the applications, a group, or a filter into a brand new policy. We can add all of these applications or individually into this existing rule right here. And we can also choose to add to this rule by choosing other applications as well, for instance. But what I want to do is I'm going to cancel out of here and cancel out of here and clone this policy, and let's make it right before this rule. So we'll have two Internet Outgoing policies, but in this case, what I want to do is only limit it to Trust L3, which is my LAN traffic. This is going to help me identify what is actually being hit against all of my LAN traffic that's passing. So we're going to click on the Zone tab, and we're going to remove all zones except for Trust-L3. So we're going to delete those. And we're going to remove Trust L3 from my broad Internet Outgoing original policy. So we're going to delete that. Click OK. And as you can tell, we are still going to leave this as application any, service any. What this is going to do is generate app IDs being seen from my Trust L3 zone. Then we can so choose to match usage to this policy. We're going to come back in a week from now and actually do that. So I'm going to commit those changes. So now that it's been well over a week of traffic, as you can tell, it's going to be starting on December 27th, and today is January 7th. We're going to check under our policy for all of the app IDs we saw during this small window. So in this case, I can either click on the policy directly or I can click on Apps Seen. So by clicking on that, to give you an idea, as you can see, we got Bing Maps, Discord, Facebook, Google Base, Google Docs, and so on, right? So what we want to do is open our policy and go to the Usage tab just where we were, compare applications and applications seen. From here, what we want to do is check all of these, and we're going to match usage to our existing policy. By clicking OK, you're going to notice if you go to the Application tab now, all of the app IDs that we were seeing under the Usage tab are now in the Applications tab, and we need to make sure under Service and URL category, because these are applications and we're using an app ID based policy, we need to hit this little checkbox under the Service tab and change this to Application Default. And then very last, what we want to do is make sure our profiles are set up as well as the name of this policy so we have a better idea of what this is for. So under Profile Type, we're going to get Profiles. We're going to add our known profiles that we have. So in this case, we're going to add our spyware profile, which is going to be LAN DNS security, and our URL filtering profile, which is going to be LAN URL filtering, right? And then here, change our name of this policy. We'll call this LAN app ID. not filter, but we'll just call it 001. And then all traffic to the internet filtered after a week worth of data. And we can remove this audit tag because we are no longer auditing this policy. We are now moving this into a production phase of this has now been audited. We identified the applications we wanted to use. We matched that usage to the existing policy, and now we're going to commit that change. And keep in mind that I'm doing this obviously on a small time window and a small time frame in that sense. If you were doing this in a production environment, I would imagine you're going to spend close to weeks, if not months, auditing these policies and so on, just to make sure that you cover every little granular detail in your environment. But again, this is just an example use case of how you can do that. All right, so in our case, LAN app ID 001, this is going to be us. I'm going to commit that change. In conclusion, I hope this video helped you learn how to start effectively cleaning up your security policies on your firewall. As per usual, I've also included some helpful KBS articles below. Thank you again for watching, and if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below.